All right, now we're going to do our review for trigonometry. So it's very important you have a calculator, scientific, or your graphing calculator because you will need it. So we're going to go through and we're going to find the approximate length of HJ, which is this whole length here, in the diagram below. Now there's a couple different ways to do this. You can do this using special triangles, which is fine. Or if you have your calculator, you can use good old SOHCAHTOA, which are your trigonometric ratios. So I showed you both ways. So you can either do your special triangles of a 30, 60, 90 triangle here. And just remember your short leg is x, your hypotenuse would be 2 times your short leg, and then your long leg is the square root of 3 times your short leg. All right? Or, so that's kind of what I did right here is I did 100, because I did your short leg times root 3, which gave you that, and I put it into the calculator. And then for this triangle, I said that since this is going to be the short leg, because that's 30 degrees there, that's the long leg because it's 60. So the long leg divided by root 3, so 80 divided by root 3, and remember you have to rationalize or you can just plug it into the calculator, either works, and you get 46.2. And then since we want the total, you have to take this plus this and add them together to get to 19.4. So that is one way to do it. The other way to do it would, in this case, since it's not asking for a simplest radical form, it's just asking for approximate, you can use this way. And then just make sure your calculator is in degrees. So you can do tangent of 60, and tangent for TOA is opposite over adjacent. And so that's where I got this here. And you just multiply both sides by 100. 100 times tangent 60 equals HI. And then you'll get that. And then you'll to find this one, you'll do the tangent of 30. So remember, again, that's opposite over adjacent is tangent. And you're going to go ahead, multiply both sides by 80. And then go ahead, put that in your calculator. And I'll show you real quick. See, 80. So I've got first, make sure you click mode. Make sure it says degree. Press enter, and then once it's highlighted like that, then you can back out of it, and then you can go ahead and you can do your 80 times, and I believe we said tangent. Let me go back real quick. Nice. $80 times tangent 30. And then you got 46 point that, which is that. And then go ahead, add them together. So either way works. All right. So now let's go ahead and let's look at 2. It's kind of the same thing. Again, remember SOHCAHTOA. So draw a picture. And Billy is 74 inches tall. His shadow, well, remember the shadow is going to go on the ground, is 70 inches. And then what's the approximate angle of elevation? So remember, if you're looking for the angle or theta, you're going to use the inverse. So it's going to be the inverse, and then when you're doing this, it's tangent, the inverse tangent of 74 over 70. So go back here. So you're going to hit second tangent, and then you're going to do 74 divided by 70, press enter, and it's going to give you the answer. All right, so just make sure that you are doing the inverse for it, hit second. All right, this one for 3 is the same thing. If you're looking for the side length, use sine, cosine, or tangent, depending on what you're looking for. And in this case, if you want to know the ground, make your triangle. So you can go ahead, we're going to use sine, since it's opposite over hypotenuse. And you're going to go sine of 26 equals x over 4. Multiply both sides by 4. And remember, technically you're cross multiplying, right? And then once you do that, you're going to plug that into your calculator and get 1.75. For number 4, same thing. You could do a special triangle. You could do SOHCAHTOA. Either works. So for me, I'm going to use this because it's a calculator. Or you could do this. That's fine too. All right. So if we want to know h, we're looking for this part right here. So if we're looking for the length, you could do 60, which is opposite over hypotenuse. So that's why we're doing sine. And then go ahead and either cross multiply. So you get 1h equals 200 times sine 60. And then enter into there. And again, just make sure your calculator's in degrees when you're doing sine, cosine, tangent. And then here you're just comparing the two people and their ramps. So definitely draw a picture. So Layla's ramp has a base that's 6 feet long and is slanted at an angle at 20.5. Casey's ramp has a base that's 8 feet long and is slanted at 16. So we want to know which statement is true. So similar would mean they're proportional sides. Well, they're not proportional sides because proportional sides need the same angle. So it can't be that. Layla's ramp is about 6 inches shorter. Well, if you look, that's not true. Layla's ramp is about 6 inches taller. Well, again, that's not true. They are approximately the same height. These are both pretty close to the same height. So that's why I said D is the best answer. But again, draw a picture and you can use tangent because it is opposite over adjacent. All right. Now let's go here. Again, more of the same thing. Just remember an altitude intersects at 90 degrees. And then it's saying here, JK or JM and then KM are congruent. And we're looking for LKM. LKM is 55. And so they already labeled everything. So again, you could use special here. And then once you got that, then you can go ahead, or you could do this. So either way works. Just make sure you're finding JK. All right, and again, in this one, it's similar. It gives you all the measurements. And again, since we're looking for theta, we're looking for the angle, you're going to use the inverse. So since we're looking for theta, they gave us adjacent. Oops. And they gave us the hypotenuse. So we're going to use cosine. Remember, it's the inverse cosine. So it's 700 over 728. So second cosine of 700 divided by 728. Press enter. Oops, through decimal there. And that's going to give you that answer there. All right. All right, and then so 1594, so this would be the best. All right, now this one, this is actually a repeat, so I'm not going to worry about that one. Let's go here. Again, there's two different ways to do this. I'm going to use this way because it's a calculator. May as well use it. Just make sure you're using the right proportion or the right ratio. Or you could do your special triangles here. So whichever way works. But it's a rope attached to the top. So your rope is from here, and this part is 25. The pole is perpendicular, so it's 90 degrees. Approximately how far from the base of the pole must the rope be attached. So we're looking for this part right here. So that's confusing. People want to find the rope. It's not the rope. We're just finding out how far from here to here. All right. And since we're doing that, we need our adjacent. So opposite and adjacent, which is tangent. And then go ahead. And for this one, if you're to multiply, cross multiply everything, you'll get x times x, but then you have to divide by tangent of 30 anyways. So that's why we got tangent, everything divided by tangent of 30. So enter that into your calculator. You're going to get that. Or like I said, do your special right triangles. 30, so this would be the short leg. And then this is your hypotenuse. This is the long leg because that's 60. So either way works, but we still get the same answer. All right, for number 10, we just have a lot of stuff here where it builds on another. So as you can see, I did all three in different colors. So first, we're going to find x because once we get x, the rest will kind of fall into place. So on this one, how tall is the pole? So again, that's your x. So to figure out this, we can use, we got tangent. So we're going to use opposite over adjacent. And then that's where I got the information here. So, and I'm going to leave this out a few decimal places just because I need this to plug it into the next part. Now that we know that this is 29.556, now we can use this to find y. So remember again, you're just cross multiplying when you set this up. So you're going to multiply both sides by 29.556. And you're going to take the tangent. Sorry, 29.556 times the tangent of 38. And it gives you that. Sorry. All right, last part is now we need to find this. So we're going to now take the cosine, because we've got adjacent and we've got hypotenuse. So we're going to take the cosine to find z. And then again, once you go ahead and you multiply both sides by z, you're going to get 45.5. And that's your answer. All right. Now, it's very important when it says leave your answers in simplest radical form. You have to use the special triangles. You can't use your calculator because you're going to get decimals. So, or if you do get decimals, you have to convert it back to a radical anyway, so it's not very helpful. So I wrote down here your little rules. So make sure you got that on there. So for 45, 45, so remember these two sides are the same. And then your hypotenuse is root 2 times whatever your leg is. And then for your 30, 60, 90, remember this is your short leg because it's opposite the short angle. That's your long leg, and then this is your hypotenuse. So just use those rules for either way. So again, this one's easy because if this side's 5 root 2, this side is 5 root 2. And we know those two are congruent because it says. And then to find the hypotenuse, you just take your leg times root 2, and that's where we got that. So remember, root 2 times root 2 equals square root of 4. Square root of 4 equals 2. Multiply them together for 10. All right, for 12, same thing. If this is 3, this is going to be 3. And then here, you're just taking 3 times root 2 because this is the hypotenuse. And then that's your answer. Oops. For 13, now for 13, you just got to find a couple different parts. So again, once you find one of them, it's easier to find the rest. So it's usually easier, depending on what information they give you. We're going to look for the short leg. So your short leg is your long leg divided by root 3. And then just plug in everything here. Don't forget, you have to rationalize. So this is going to give you that, and root 3 times root 3 gives you positive 3. So that is for B. Now the hypotenuse, all you do is take your short leg times 2. So here's our short leg times 2. Well, you go 2 times 2, which is 4, and we just bring this over and just bring this over, and that's it. All right, 14, you have to simplify your radical, and that's really the only tricky part in this one, is you're going to take this and you're going to divide it. So hypotenuse divided by root 2 is going to give you one of the legs. So rationalize. Now there's a couple different ways to do it. You can go 10 times 2 to give you root 20. And then what I did was I simplified 4 and 2 to 2 over 1. And then I did 2 times, and 20 is 4 and root 5. So square root of 4 is 2, and then 4 root 5. Or what you can do is actually combine those into 10 over 2. And then that's going to give you 4 root 5. Either way. In 15, it looks a little crazy, but it's just the same thing with 2 different triangles. So for this one, you've got a 45, 45, 90. So this one's probably the easiest one to start with because these two sides are going to be congruent. So if that's 5, this is 5. And then here, you just take 5 times root 2 for y. Now this one's going to be a little bit more. So this is your short leg. Oops. So here, your short leg is your long leg divided by root 3. So we said this is our long leg. So you're going to go 5 divided by root 3, rationalize. And you get 5 root 3 over 3. Now once you've got that for your short leg for z, now we're going to take short leg times 2, and that's going to give you the hypotenuse. So 5 times 2 is 10, and then that's it. You don't need to simplify anymore. All right, and then that is your trig final exam prep.